Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the final day of IndieX Festival 2022. I hope you're enjoying this last day as most of as I do. Um, we still have, I believe, 4 games left. This will be the presentation and showcase of Eternal Threads. With me, I have Dave Bottomley. How are you,
Uh,
Dave?
I'm not bad. Yourself?
Everything okay? Thank you for your application with Eternal Threads here on IndieX. You are part of the Cosmonaut Studios, I believe. So,
Yes, yes.
what can you tell me about this studio regarding to how many people were involved in the creation of this amazing title?
There was a core of 8 people. We had like one programmer, 2 artists, a couple of designers, an animator, and then later on we got in some like students. There was a student programmer, a couple of student artists. They were kind of looking for work, so we got them some experience in the industry, and um, yeah, we kind of made use of local talent where we could.
So, like we were talking earlier, the game can speak for itself. I'm going to ask for your help at the beginning of this game. So,
Okay.
I'm going to put it on the screen and continue because we are at the start of the game, basically. Um, so, tell me, what are we looking at right now and what is this all about?
Okay, so you are now looking at a house which has been terribly devastated by a fire. You've been sent here from the future to go back and try and change the outcomes because at the moment, in this fire, 6 people die. And you have been sent back to try and make it so you can save the lives of the 6 people in this house.
Okay. So, before we start, um, I have to put these devices.
Right, this is essentially the in-game narrative reason for this is you're putting down devices around the house which are roughly in a kind of three-dimensional shape, defining most of the area of the house. And that means that inside this field that they create, you'll be able to see um, echoes of scenes from the past. Um, in a gameplay kind of way, it's a way of helping you find your way around the house and learn where all the various rooms are. So there's an in-game reason for it, but there's also a kind of let's familiarize the player with moving around the house and learning where things are.
Okay, so how many of an inspiration was the radar from the Aliens movie for from this
Um,
particular
well,
device?
let's say I may have watched Aliens a couple of 100 times when I was growing up. Yes, I mean when you think of a tracker trying to find things in a reasonably high tech but not too high tech um, idea, it's very difficult to do better than what James
Yes,
Cameron did with
I must agree. So we are putting these amplifiers all over the house, like David
well,
told us. Tell me.
yeah, we do three because it's like if you're trying to define a space, then three seems to be a reasonable number to give you uh, a contained volume.
Yeah,
Which is why we had one higher up in the house because it
and it
felt
gave us
like it
the
was
tip from the
dividing the area.
arrows.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. I believe we can start our investigation. So, as David told us, we are trying to save the lives of 6 people that died in this horrible fire that took place on this house.
I
Uh,
wouldn't look at the lights a little bit flickery.
yeah. Oh god. So he's scanning the corruption detected.
So this is
Hmm.
confirming that the timeline has been changed by some temporal energy which has rippled back through time, destroying the timeline. And in this particular case, what should have been 6 people escaping the fire has been changed to the point that they all die. Now, this is just the computer's done that to confirm that you're in the right place at the right time, and this is going to be your mission. And if you go and click on the fireman, you will begin to see the end of this particular timeline as it stands at the moment.
So this is the end of the fire, so to speak, when the fire brigade arrived at this place. So
Yes.
we will be able to intervene in some events 1 week before this actual happened, right?
Yes, what it is, you get to have the whole week, all the events are taking place over the whole week, including any decisions the characters make, what branching timelines those decisions create as well, any kind of personal information about what these characters are doing throughout the week, and you can go and explore up and down that timeline as you like. So you can look at you can go to the first day when you meet everybody there, or you can go to the end and see how everyone died in the fire. You can go backwards and forwards in whatever order you particularly want to explore.
So what we can do here with numerous events that we will check in a bit in the map that will be
Yeah, it will
presented to
show
us,
after
it's
this. It
a
will, it will
kind
show
of a butterfly effect that we can
yes.
tamper with. Okay. So
Yeah, it's all about. There's no. It's all about little decisions having impacts on other little decisions, which build and build throughout the entire week, and it's trying to deflect those.
so here are the six people that died, guys. And yes,
These are the
Bruno,
six
this is
people
the
that
final version of the game that we are seeing. Yes.
I'm kind of loath to talk over the description.
Yes, you can because I think that the volume is lower in the streams. You can speak at will, David.
I mean, so like all the white ones are the ones that are currently active on the current timeline, but all the grey ones, they're alternative possibilities which you can switch on and off through your decisions as you go through the week.
So, how long is the game? Someone is asking on the chat. Before you can answer that let me tell you that before I started the game, I have a prompt asking me if you want the normal version. This is the one with these all events that you can see in the map, or a shorter version with less events, but give us the bad ending.
Yes, it doesn't give you. It doesn't give you a. It doesn't give you a bad ending. It doesn't. It just means you can't get the perfect ending.
Okay, so what we are watching right now is the events that took place before the fire happened. So this is the beginning of the week, and this is where we want to start our investigation on Tom's room, event number 1. So now the radar gave us the position where we have to go to check it out.
Yeah, it tells you where the room is, and
Yeah.
after 4 or 5 of these, you kind of know where the kitchen is, where the dining room is, where Tom's room is,
So
and
here
then
we go. This is the perfect example how we can tamper with the time. I really enjoy this part.
Aren't you, Frank? Aren't you, Frankie? No, it's not as often, but he's still pulling out his feathers every now and then. Yeah. I talked to the vets. They want to keep him overnight. I just don't know if that'll cause more stress, you know.
Okay, that's a potential corruption point because it's a choice that we will have to make. So, the current choice of Tom was to wait and see if Frank gets better on his own without going with him with the vet. But alternatively, we can book a vet appointment for Frank. That was what I'm going to do. And
So this is essentially the core
yeah.
of the game, where you get these decisions which then ripple through butterfly effect like through the game.
They had an appointment for next Tuesday.
So next Tuesday he will go to the vet, which
Sorry,
will make
that's the door.
a life-saving decision here for little old Frank.
Frank is not in the house on the
Yes.
night of the fire, and so
Exactly.
therefore our little
So what
feathered
we have to
friend-
do, David, is making these types of decisions for all the other 6 dudes
Yes.
that were inside the house.
Everyone else is a little more difficult. We just thought we'd put in, we make it so saving the birdies easy.
But that's a nice example, to be honest. That is a really good example. So this event was event number 1, and now I can lower and put this device down with one thing. It's we only can see this type of events if we have the device up. If we have the device down, we can't access to them. So tell me, which platforms this game will be available?
It's currently available on PC, and it will be available on Xbox, PS, PlayStation, and Switch.
Okay, Switch 2, guys. Okay, yeah. So now we can navigating the time map. Okay, this is we can go to the second event if we want. So
Right, so
the
if you
events that have
start-
decisions have the diamond type of shape, right, David?
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Yes, anytime you find, until you actually look at the question mark, you don't know whether it's hiding another diamond or it's just a circle scene. But when you ever actually find a particular decision, it will then be marked as a diamond, so you always know where to go back to if you wanted to switch things around to try and see what changes the timeline that would result in.
So we can
Well,
even
at this
change
point,
here on the fly the decision if we want.
yes,
We don't have to re-see it again, rewatch it, revisit it. Okay, we don't have
I
to
mean,
see it again. So
later
we
on,
can.
once you get to the point where you've got like 30 or 40 decisions open, and you go, what happens if he had roast beef for dinner and then decided to go play cricket and then watch the television? And you just want to quickly check those things. And that's what you just do that here just to see if that opens up anything else on the timeline. Rather than having to go back and watch them all one by one, you have that option to do it here as well.
We can gamble it in this menu, right? Because if we change anything here on this menu, in here on the map, things are going to change to at real time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But you will only see the changes that occur to anything. You won't necessarily see the changes occur to things that you haven't watched yet because you don't know what they
Of course.
originally were, so you don't know what the changes have been changed to. So it becomes a case of trying to map out the timeline first, and then you'll be able to see more and more changes occurring based on what you've already seen.
So this event, it's actually 1 minute after when the doorbell rang. This is what's going to happen next. As we can see it here, Tom went to the door to see who was it, and as you can see, it was a person that came to rent a room for him. He's a landlord. I'm giving you a little spoil.
Hiya, Auntie Linda, come in.
Oh, thanks.
Hiya.
Hi.
Well, it's good to see you.
Oh, and you. It's good to be here.
So his brother also lives here.
Don't know what I would have done without you.
Look, I've just got a spare room.
That's not all your stuff, is it?
Oh no, there's more in the car.
Keys. Right, back in a minute.
Okay. So, how about a quick tour?
Lead on.
Okay, so he's going to give Linda a tour, and he's going to note something on the device, so we can easily identify what happened in this part. It's easier here on the map if we checked it. Crossing the threshold. It was what what us we write on the device, so to speak. So in this particular event, we didn't have a choice to make. So you don't have the diamond shape at the event, correct?
Yeah, that's true. I think the
So far, so
name
good.
was, when I was writing the scenes, I came up with names just to remind me of what the scenes was about. And while we were doing it, it was like, this might actually be useful for the players if they have a name which somehow sums up, rather than calling it scene one, scene two, scene three for the entire time, having a name which somehow sums up what takes place in it, or the essence of the scene, so they can go, oh, it's the one where so and so does so and so, crossing
It
the
happens to
threshold.
help us too.
Well, if while you're making it you find something easy and helpful to yourself, then it's likely that's going to be helpful to the players.
So this was the first project from Cosmonaut Studios, isn't it?
Yes, we have. We've all worked before for a company called Magenta Software, where we've mostly been doing kids games, children's games. Um, we'd go into our publishers and say, "Oh, look at this great crime detective story," and they go, "That's brilliant. How about making this game about a little mouse trying to get across New York?" And it was like,
Here's the
well,
key.
okay, we'll do the little mouse game
Guys,
because
link
you've got the
like
money and we'll do it. So we'd
Facebook.
always wanted to do something that was
That's us.
more for grown
Adult.
ups.
So sweet.
Yeah, not
Oh, we certainly are.
just something more sophisticated, more narratively based, more kind of dealing with adult kind of themes, more deep, more something you can get your teeth into. And this is kind of where we ended up.
Unfortunately,
So, and who gave the idea of this
and I guess that's
style
the
of
answer a bit later as
time
well.
bending
Yeah, she's looking
um,
easy, mate.
journey, and we are kind of time cop, so to speak, or time savior, time firefighter to save
Yes,
in this
yes.
case firefighter. But who gave the idea, the initial idea? Where did it all came from?
It, there's been it kind of accumulated. At one point, we were going to be a psychic detective, go into a house, and there was strange supernatural goings on in the house, and we'd find out that previously there'd been, like 30 years beforehand, there'd been strange supernatural goings on in the house, and we would
That also
investigate
would
things.
be awesome, by the way.
That's right.
That
But
also would be awesome.
yeah, but we had it so you discover these characters, the six people living in the house. It was more or less the same setup we have now, but we'd follow their story and find out the tragic resolution, and then we'd try and apply those things we learned from their story to fix the problem in the current day. And we were that far away. We were right near like we were going to put it into production, and we were just sitting around, and it was like, "Is everyone okay with this?" And there was just something niggling me. And I said, "Well, I don't really like it because we're introducing these wonderful characters that we want people to really like and get along with.
Day one.
And the best solution, the best case scenario, everyone's dead. So we solved the supernatural problem in the future, but all these people we spent the majority of the game with, who we get to like, we get to hang out with, we get to see their hopes and dreams and all that, they're all dead, and there's nothing you can do to stop it." And then my friend Carl, who was sitting there, said, "Well, why don't we do it so the best resolution is you save them?" And it was from that. Everyone else was sitting around, "Oh, that sounds all right. It doesn't, the program was, it doesn't affect us. The artist, it doesn't really affect us." But me and Carl, who were kind of writing the timelines and the dialogue, it was like, we had this kind of moment where we looked at each other and it's like, that's an awful lot of work, isn't it? That's an incredible amount of work because I've got multiple timelines and things splitting off, and it was like, that sounds really challenging. It sounds really good, and we should try it. So that's kind of where it started from. And after hammering it out, we ended up from that we got various bits, and we ended up going more kind of sci-fi. If you're coming from the future to go back and fix it, rather than psychic, because it just gave us a little bit more ways to hand wave some things.
The previous
If it
tenant
was future technology.
Well,
So
But
we
yeah,
are being introduced to other characters right now. Sorry, David. I'm just saying what I'm doing right now. But you can continue. I'm just saying that we are being introduced to other characters, guys. So that live in the same house, including one doctor, I believe. And once again, we are here to choose if we want to a simple choice, like David told us earlier, a small choice that can have a big impact in the future. If we leave the guitar and posters on the room that Linda rented, it was from a previous person that rented the room but stopped paying the rent, so he was kicked out. If we leave the guitar and posters off, we take the guitar and posters away um, and put it away. So the current decision was that leave the guitar and posters, but I will take it off. So I will take the guitar and posters away. This is the
keep
alternative
watching the
question.
wall,
And here we go. Yes, David.
I know I'm
and if you
not
notice,
Kansas
the
anymore.
poster has gone from the
All my
wall,
days as a rock chick
Yeah.
are
which
way
is
over.
another hint about
sure thing, Dorothy.
while some decisions might be part of a butterfly effect to get through, to change the fate of somebody, some decisions might move objects around the house, allowing you to gain access or prevent you from gaining access to them, and possibly exploring something further. So this scene is another kind of hint about what else a decision can change around the house.
So this is a letter that was on the garbage behind the door. Maybe it belongs to the previous dude that lived here, because it's the first time I see this letter, so that's new for me. So what's going on? You weren't making much sense last time we spoke. Then I come home to find you gone, and the note on the fridge saying you're leaving me. Kieran read the note. You know, he's really upset. As you're not answering your phone, I ask Anthea to pass this note to you. I just want to talk about without shouting and screaming. I know you've been under a lot of pressure at work, and that's what really caused all of this. I told you it was a big mistake going back. It was just too demanding when you got me and Kieran to look after as well. Please let's just meet up and talk anytime, anywhere. But let's get over this and back to normal for Kieran's sake. Call me Harry. Okay.
So that's a hint about Linda's backstory. Um, the whole first few scenes are basically just to kind of introduce you to all the 6 characters around the house itself, and just generally to get you a kind of feel of, oh, the bathroom's over here. This is so and so's room. So and so and so and so know each other because of this. It's just to sort of gently ease you into the general characters and the house itself.
Okay. So we will continue with this visit of our first look at the house at the hallway. I believe this is where I stayed the last time I played. So it's this one here. Okay, here.
Wednesday, 8:10.
Oh,
Location.
the hall is
Close,
down
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Here with the letter. If I recall correctly, yes. So we received mail. Oh, he went to the mail and got it. Yes, this is
So
the part
he's
I was talking.
getting
Hi, Neil.
He's just got the bags from Linda's car.
So I'm putting all the choices on alternative. So he's asking if he's got some mail, and Neil told him that don't think so, but if you double checked it, he actually has some mail.
I'll double check. Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Cheers. Can I squeeze past? Work.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, some scenes are quite short, and some scenes are well. That was just quite a short, succinct.
Yes, any post. Okay, so
And it's kind of it's just following where all the characters at this much. It's kind of a bit like a ballet. So one person leaves from one scene and exits, and then comes back into another scene, meeting someone else who's just left from the previous scene. So Ben's just left from the kitchen where he was talking and saying, "Oh, I'm off to work,"
yeah,
and
it was this
Neil
part,
was
correct?
walking from that side.
He left the kitchen and he crossed with Neil at the entrance.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully some of these decisions can save someone's life. Can you tell me? It's a question of good ending, bad ending, or we can have multiple endings depending on how much of them we can save.
There are multiple endings.
Multiple.
There's everyone can be dead. Everyone can be dead in multiple ways. Everyone can be alive, and everyone can be alive in multiple ways. And you can also affect, in some cases, the relationships between people. So you can fix some problems they may have in their lives as well as trying to get them to survive the fire. So there is a perfect ending where you manage to save everybody, and as you're playing through the game, you discover that the characters have slight life problems, shall we say. And if you can solve those life problems and make their lives better, as well as saving them from the fire, that is the true perfect ending.
So they can die multiple ways. That
Oh yes,
amazes
yes.
me.
So
Oh my god.
I think one of them can die 3 different ways. Yes.
Oh my god. Well, so far let's check it out. Check it out. So
That's the bathroom, and this is my
still
bedroom.
getting the tour for Linda to know
Oh, what a nice view.
where things are. When suddenly
Morning.
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 Hi.
he doesn't live here,
I
guys.
have no idea.
If you've ever been a student,
Hi,
that's a
I'm
pretty
recording,
common occurrence
Missy.
in a shed.
Jealous.
This is Linda, my sister.
So I guess she knows all your
Uh,
childhood secrets then. Oh,
Someone is asking if it's
Tiago,
possible to save just
Hello.
half of them. like
well,
David told
we can
us,
talk later.
we
Now,
can
I suppose I'd better go
save
finish some clothes on.
one or two, the other one dies, vice versa. It's all
Well,
about us making the right
you
decision.
are sent on a mission, and you're not allowed to leave until you've saved everybody. You don't have to save everybody perfectly, and there are some ways to save people which mean that other people can't be saved in that way. So there are quite a few dead ends to explore. So if somebody, you can save somebody, but it means that their boyfriend might be dead.
Okay, that's unfortunate. So we have here for Mr. Ben Riley some medicine, ananapan, like 1 or 2 at night, maybe sleeping pills. I don't know. Maybe difficult.
That is a made up name, but it's of a similar kind of name to a particular type of product, which would be sleeping tablets.
Okay, so nothing to see here, I believe. So now we can't enter this room because
Oh,
it's locked.
not yet.
Ah, the ladies' boudoir is locked. A familiar feeling. Maybe there's a spare key lying around somewhere.
So we will have to look out for the spare key. But this room isn't locked. Oh, yes. So tell me, this investigation part, we are watching letters, we can investigate through some closets. Does it all uh, matter at the end, or only the things that we can intervene or use, like the key here, David?
The objects, like in a game like Gone Home, they kind of give additional backstory. They give additional kind of background material, filling out people's characters, people's stories, and they give extra meat on the bones um, of the story and the characters themselves. There are a few items which, like keys, which will prove important to pick up and carry with you. But it's not. At one point, we were going to do, when we had the psychic was going to find special objects with psychic energy in them, which were around at a scene of high emotional moment, and we were going to manipulate the objects to summon to start the scenes. But in the end, when we ended up going with 100 and like 200 odd scenes, it was like that's too many objects to have an emotional involvement in a particular scene, so it didn't really become practical. So the actual usage of the objects became lesser. It was just to continue giving more background material and making things all fit in. So if you check this timetable that you've got up now, and then have a look at when Ben appears in the house and when he's not in the house, the times actually match because that's his shift at the hospital. So he's not in the house when those times are particularly on. And the party one is circled there. You'll find that he doesn't get back to the house to the party till later because he's been working at 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the afternoon shift.
Oh, nice. So I believe I saw a letter around here that asked for a change of schedule with a colleague. I believe maybe that also matters in some way or another. So
Was that
autism.
on his mobile phone?
Sorry, David.
Was that on his mobile phone?
Yeah, I believe so. Where did I check it out?
Over there on
Here
the
on
desk?
the couch. No, not this one. This is a reminder for an appointment. Where is his cell phone? Here. Okay. This is the other one. This is the one. Okay. So Seb is asking Ben to a change of shift next Saturday because he has a date with a colleague from work, Emma from radiology. That's it. She's way out of your league. Really good.
One thing, if as you change the timeline, you may find that the messages that are on people's phones change. So it basically shows the last message or the last voicemail they received. So if you change the events that happened in the week beforehand, those last messages may change. The location of the phone around the house may change. Letters may change. They may move around the house.
That's really, really ingenious. If you allow me to speak, to say, that's really, really ingenious. Really smart decision making. That opens a whole new world because now every time I'm going to make a decision or a change, I'm going to always run to the phones looking for clues because of what you just said, mate. So the girl's room that was locked now it can be used, and I think the indication that we received it was that now, because of this, new events are available for us to choose along the way, I guess. Now that we unlocked the room.
What it means is that because you can find events in the timeline where you can't actually physically get to at that point. So if you gone down the timeline and tried to find selected an event that was in Raquel's room as I opened the door, you wouldn't be able to get to through the door to watch it. You may find if you explore through the timeline that there are other um, events taking place in and around the house which you can't get to yet because you have not yet found a way of. Always, raised eyebrows, always something you don't want to find in your wardrobe, yes.
Yes, I was really a little bit shocked. So hope we will find one here with a positive test. So, oh, really nice. We hope this helps you remember our beautiful our daughter, Emily and James. So nice. This is a lot to explore. I'm definitely going to play this off stream for sure. Trying to save these poor guys and girls' souls and not making them die of other ways except the fire. So another mobile phone. So here we go. Hey Raquel, do you need to know exactly how many pieces we'll be exhibiting on Friday? So she's an artist, I see. She's a painter. 8 pieces Friday. You're going to be ready for Thursday. That's final installation day. Just doing some finishing touches. So this is going to be important, I think. But we should always check the date. I don't remember the date on the incident. Like if it was on Wednesday.
It's the following Wednesday. So we
Yeah.
start on a Wednesday, and then the fire happens. Um, the Tuesday night is their last night alive, and then the Wednesday, early in the morning, is
Yeah.
when the fire happens.
So Wednesday, 20th May of 2015. Okay.
So that if you scroll all the way to the end of the timeline, so it's like the 27th, is that right?
Let me check.
26th.
The end of the timeline. This one's 20.
Yeah, so 20th of May. So the moment you see the hexagons,
Yeah.
they're all the current scenes where everyone's final scene is a
Before they
hexagon
die.
before they die. So all the hexagons there are all the potential final scenes for everybody else. So
So
if you switch a timeline so that somebody dies in a different way, it would be a different hexagon. If you save them one way, it would be a different hexagon. Save them the perfect way, it would be another hexagon. So there's all those possible outcomes for each for the characters.
So all we know is that they die from a fire, but there is a chance, and I'm saying this without knowing anything about the game, that maybe someone intentionally put the house on fire. We don't know. Maybe some problems. Maybe someone had some kind of discussion. That is, it's me thinking without even knowing. But this opens a lot of possibilities in my head. That is something that I'm going to think while I'm going through the game and going through all the dialogues between characters. That and try to unlock all of these events that are not available for us at the moment. Only the white ones. Okay.
I mean,
I
the whole thing we were trying to do was just give people enough information so they can start piecing things together and start imagining and start seeing where timelines could possibly going and what might be the cause of particular events. That's it. It's all just little clues. I think at least every scene has some clue about who a character is, what their relationship with somebody else is, what might be a way to resolve their problems personally, and how might be a way to save them in the end.
I'm going to try and watch this event near the end because our
Oh,
time is
okay.
almost over. So I will try to visit the event 188. So let me
Day 8,
see
Wednesday.
here. Oh,
47. Location,
I don't know. I don't know if I want to see this. Let's check it out. The house is on fire. I can hear it. Yeah, they awake with the smoke. They're waking up with the smoke.
That smell.
Yeah.
Ben, wake up. There's a fire. Ben, get up. You've got to, Ben,
I
get
think it's already
Ben, you've got to get up.
gone
Come on, Ben.
because of the smoke.
Up.
Maybe
Get
potential corruption point. Let me. I can't leave you, or I have to go. So I think she died because she tried to live without him. She tried to get him up. So if she, oh, I have an achievement because of this. I think she's going to live without him. If she can or not, I wouldn't know. Live, even so. Maybe she dies at it. It's all the same, but at least she tried. Okay, this is really going to be.
Right, so that's the choice. That's an example of you've managed to find a way to save a character, but unfortunately, in that version of the universe, in that timeline, her boyfriend is dead.
Okay, so 5 left so far, but I don't know. 56. Ideally, we would be able to save them both. Ideally, we will be able to save them both. I will try it. I promise. So, unfortunately, our time is almost up. So, David, I have to congratulate you about this game. This is really uh, a great game, and I thank you for applying it to IndieX 2022. It's really a great game to have and a great game to showcase. It's different from all we have here at the moment. What can you tell us about the future at Cosmonaut Studios after Eternal Threads?
Well, I mean, we'd love to get a second one out. I already know the main plot developments for uh, the development of the future
A sequel?
storyline. That would be. I would love to do a sequel, but who knows? Who knows?
The
We
overall
shall see.
feedback so far, it's being well received by the audience.
Yeah, everyone who seems to play it, first of all, they seem kind of what I can go anywhere and do anything. I can watch it in any order I want, which seems to be quite a shock. But then, being able to give him that freedom, it's like being allowed to drive on the road on your own for the first time. It's that kind of I can experience this however I want to. I think rather than it being force fed to me in a particular way. But the feedback has been pretty universally good. Yes.
Well, I believe so. It's really good. It's really a good game. Really tough competition this year. I hope you all the best for the prizes that will be tonight's ceremony for you guys to know. I hope you all the best. Wish you all the luck, and I hope to see you soon with the announcement of a sequel. Who knows? David, it was a pleasure to have you. You and
Thank
Eternal
you very much
Threads.
for having us. Cheers. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much, guys. Stay tuned. We will have streaming right next to this one. Okay, don't go anywhere. Thank you very much. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Time is fractured, 43. So many altered choices. turn left or right. Speak up or be silent.
You've got to get up!
Stay or go.
I love you!
Dozens of decisions made every day. Inconsequential, maybe, but causality, it turns out, is very, very hard to predict. Corruption in the past has changed so much, we're not even sure how much is lost. All we can do is try to fix it one piece at a time. And now the fate of these people falls to you. Change the right set of decisions, and you save them all. So you know, no pressure.